Karunya, for that JLR investor meet. There were a lot of expectation, as Karunya said, that it was broadly in line with what they have said, and the stock is down close to about 2 to 3 odd percent. Let's welcome in the first management on the show. The management at Deccan Gold is now joining us. Sandeep, MD at Deccan Gold Mines. Sandeep, you had an analyst meet a couple of days back. Can you tell us about that? What was the key outlook? How was the response to the analyst meet? What were the key forward-looking statements that were shared with the analyst?
Yeah, sure. Basically, the response was quite positive because we haven't had an analyst meet for a long time, and the idea was to update them on a key project, which is the Ganajur Gold project that we are working on, and just to give them a little bit of a background on the gold potential in India waiting to be tapped. So generally, it was quite positive. We also informed the analysts about our funding requirements going forward in terms of development of this Ganajur project, and there certainly is a lot of interest from various sources in terms of facilitating that funding.
Right. We have seen the persistent delay in receipt of the nod from the state government, for MLs and PLs. Can you just talk about that? What are the key hurdles over there?
Absolutely. See, our applications have been made several years ago, and this particular one, the one that we want to develop into a gold mine that is basically ready from every other angle, it is awaiting what is called a letter of intent from the state government of India, or from the state government of Karnataka. It has been approved by the Ministry of Mines in Delhi. It has now also received approval from the law department of the state government of Karnataka. Unfortunately, the elections post the opinion from the law department held it back a little, but we are now absolutely pushing for that grant notification letter to be issued to us so that we can effectively start working on developing the project. So that's in terms of the Ganajur mining license application. We have several prospecting license applications as well. And one of the key landmarks, if you want to call it that we achieved about 2-3 months ago is we received a very positive judgment from the Supreme Court on various applications that we had lodged within the Hatti Belt. Hatti Belt is effectively where Hatti Gold Mines is currently operating. It is the only gold mine operating in India, and areas surrounding the Hatti Belt have been applied for us in the past, but now that they have been unlocked as a result of this favorable judgment from the Supreme Court, it is getting processed in Karnataka, and we hope that those PLs will be granted reasonably soon, together with this letter of intent that we are waiting for the Ganajur Gold project.
Hi Sandeep, good afternoon. This is Nantara joining in from the New Delhi newsroom. So clearly life has changed after that crucial Supreme Court verdict. You're talking about other prospective licenses in the works. Tell me, how are you funding all of this, and do you think you're still on the radar of metal barons, the likes of Vedanta and Anil Agarwal, that in the past have spoken openly about looking to buy Deccan Gold Mines?
Yeah, we are looking at funding the entire gamut of our projects, including the prospects that are now getting unlocked as a result of that favorable Supreme Court judgment. In terms of buyers, to be very honest, we are talking to more than one interested parties, and in terms of how it would be structured and the total quantum of funding that would be required. And whilst there has been, as I said earlier, interest expressed by these particular sources, nothing concrete has been finalized yet. Effectively, I think once this letter of intent is issued, we can sit across the table and discuss the
There you're confirming
details.
there is a fund. Sandeep, allow me to just interrupt you there. While I understand you're hedging all your bets and you can only be so forthcoming on TV, but if you can tell us a little bit while you're talking about fundraising, can you at least confirm that you're looking at stake dilution at the entity level, the listed entity? And even if you don't want to tell me the exact figure, I'm sure you have a ballpark figure, how much it is that you want to raise or how much equity dilution you're okay with.
I can give you some broad figures. Effectively, we are looking at a funding of around USD 50 million, give or take plus or minus 10%. And of that, we would be looking at around 20% in equity and the remainder in debt.
You're going to dilute. So, I'm sorry, can you just repeat that? How much when you do this fundraising, you're saying the equity dilution could entail?
Yeah, what I can tell you is that the total amount of equity in that $50 million funding that we are talking about is around $20 million. So that would be the level of equity dilution that we would be looking at within our company. How that is structured, by the way, it's a little bit early to make a comment on because we need to be wary of multiple regulations that apply to the mining industry. So that is something that we will, along with the other details, as I said, sit across the table and finalize in due course.
Sandeep, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us here. We wish you all the best for your fundraising exercise and all the plans that you've lined up since that Supreme Court verdict. We look forward to getting you regularly on the channel. All the very best. So that's the latest as far as Deccan Gold Mines goes, confirming to ET now there is a fundraising which could include an equity dilution. Maybe $20 million could be raised via the equity dilution in talks with more than one party, which includes Anil Agarwal and Vedanta. So I tell you what, with that we're going to take a short commercial break, but stay tuned. You're watching Markets at Noon. We've got a lot more lined up for you after this break.